All right, so let's switch gears just a little bit, Gary. I know that you've got besides riding on the road, trading on the track, doing all these other things. You've also got some accomplishments in the kettlebell world too. So tell me a little bit about your history with kettlebells, what you've done there, and then why and what kind of why you do that and how that brings together in life and cycling and everything else.
Yeah, I think it was. I went along for a long time, just thinking I just ride my bike,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes care of everything. I mean, why would I need to do more
Mm-hmm.
than just ride the bike to be good on riding the bike?
Right.
It's like the ultimate exercise, which it
Sure.
is.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens over time is there's things that you're not really developing that well. The
Mm-hmm.
upper body, for example, and especially as you're getting older,
Mm-hmm.
and sarcopenia as you start to lose muscle
Mm-hmm.
mass and whatnot. So I became interested in strength training, which I
Mm-hmm.
had never been before, and this was around a time where my life was changing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I had a divorce, and I decided to go back and really focus on racing again.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that I would bring strength training in, and I just got curious about
Mm-hmm.
kettlebells.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this is really cool. And then I started doing it. It was easy because I could do it in a very small space. I mean, I could do it almost the size of this table.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's like you don't really need a gym. You just start off
Right.
with one kettlebell.
Right.
And so I was kind of learning on my own. And then I saw a certification, which was the RKC,
Mm-hmm.
Russian Kettlebell
Mm-hmm.
Certified, which was the original. The guy came in from Russia, and he brought in this training, and then it
Nice.
developed into the system, which they've been doing for quite a few years now,
Cool.
20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I got involved, and then it's like, well, I could actually compete with this.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up developing my own training system using a Tabata interval,
Okay.
which I'm sure you know about,
Sure.
but it's 20 seconds on,
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds off, 8 times,
Mm-hmm.
4 minutes. And then I would take a 1 minute rest, repeat.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I've gone back to that. Right now, I'm going to the gym more often,
Okay.
but I have a home gym, and I was using that for my primary training. The great thing about it was it's explosive,
Okay.
and I could use heavy weights, I could use light weights, I can go through all the planes of motion. So it was really just a good fitness vehicle for me. And
Wow.
I just stayed and I competed,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a number of different organizations. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a few years ago, also 2021, I guess, was a good year for me
Mm-hmm.
because I won two world champion kettlebells. I won the match
Wow.
sprint,
Wow.
and I was married
Right.
on
Right.
the velodrome.
That's very cool.
So
That's a
that was
great
a big
great
year.
year.
Yeah, it
Great
was a
year.
big year.
Wow. That's really cool.
But
Wow.
strength training now, I'm really back to it,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I think it's really important. I had a pinched nerve last
Mm-hmm.
year, and I was just surprised I lost speed on the track.
Mm-hmm.
And all the studying that I do about the
Mm-hmm.
aging athlete,
Sure.
I feel like you've really got to. Muscle is really
Yeah.
the key.
Yeah.
And there's some influencers that I've been
Yeah.
watching and following.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Gabriel Lyons is
Mm-hmm.
one, and her thing is it's all about muscle when
Right.
you're getting older. Um,
Right. Right.
One of the fellows I work with, Fernando, works at a nursing home, and he's
Mm-hmm.
talking about, and I even have personal experiences myself where people they've really lost a lot when I have a small construction business, and I usually don't tell people how old I am. It kind
Right.
of freaks them out.
Right.
you know
How old are you,
yeah.
Gary?
Well, I'll have to figure that out because I have a racing age, and I have I'm actually 73,
All right.
but I'll be 74 in November. But
Okay.
in January, I'll be racing age 75. So that's why it's confusing. But yeah, the thing is, you can be healthy, you can
Mm-hmm.
be mobile. I
Right.
mean, when I had a serious crash on the
Mm-hmm.
velodrome a
Mm-hmm.
few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I was, I had injured my spine, and I was very, very, and I didn't know whether I'd be able to physically do what I had been
Mm-hmm.
doing before. But, and that's another thing, is coming back from an injury
Sure.
is, I think what it is, what I say, Hunter, is it's the it's the athlete mindset.
Sure.
You know, you look at these professional athletes,
Right.
and how they've come back and how quickly. Now they're younger, and when you're younger,
Sure.
you can come back faster.
Sure.
But it doesn't mean you can't come back if
Right.
you're older.
Right.
It might take a
Takes
little longer.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so you have to be patient, and that's another thing. Now I'm finding that it's okay if I miss a day. I don't have to do 2-a-days, you know,
Okay.
all the time. Occasionally that's good,
Right.
or
Right.
sometimes. And if I'm tired, working a lot, or stress, personal stress, and then I can still go back and I can still, you know, develop the strength. So I think that's one of the strategies for the aging athlete, which we
Right.
all are,
Right. Sure.
is you might need a little more rest. But I would absolutely recommend the strength training, and
Yeah.
kettlebells was just fun, and it was easy, and
That's
you
great.
know, I'm not really planning on competing right now, but it's a great form because you're able to, the body is stabilizing the whole time the kettlebell is moving, so it actually creates more work for a specific period of time.
Wow.
Right now I'm doing a lot of work in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of great machines and various things. I'm able to work, strengthen my back. I'm doing cables.
Nice.
I've switched over from squatting, back squatting with a barbell, to the belt squat.
Okay.
Because that's the other thing is, over time you put a lot of, especially if you're lifting, you put a lot of stress on your spine, and it's just almost a matter of time before you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
But the belt squat is great because you just have this belt around your waist, and I think I'm up to about close to 500 pounds now.
Nice. Wow,
on the
that's
belt
great.
squat.
That's great. That's huge. Yeah, I mean, and we've had conversations before too about, you know, the whole longevity and vitality thing, right? I mean, we want to live longer and we want to kick butt doing it, and so that's the whole goal is, and you know, absolutely, strength is such a massive component of that. So I mean, clearly, you know, through kettlebells, through weightlifting, you know, through sprint training, all these things are a big factor in that, right? And then there's the cardiovascular piece. You know, there's a tremendous amount of research showing that doing VO2 max intervals, which you mentioned earlier, is critical, right? You've got to maintain your volume of oxygen that you can bring in with your lungs, so those lungs just don't shrink down as you get older, because they will. If you don't use them, you lose them, kind of thing. So that's a big part of that.